In this video, we'll take a look at how to do ferry missions. Ferry missions exist for the purposes of changing the base of an aircraft, or in some cases, to actually randomly go to different types of locations to simulate things such as unknown traffic. So to do this, we simply want to select the unit that we want to ferry the units to. In this case, we want to ferry some of our aircraft off of this and send them over to Nellis Air Force Base. So I'm going to select Nellis Air Force Base, Missions, Add New Mission. I'm going to go ahead and call this Ferry. Now what I'll go ahead and do is select the ferry option and then press the OK. As usual with any mission, you have the ability to make this an inactive mission, in which case you have to establish a start time as well as a deactivation time. Now all you have to do is pick the units you wish to ferry. In this case, one thing you want to watch out for as usual is the flight size. If we wanted to transfer all of our aircraft and the aircraft could not make up a full multiple flight here, we'd have to make sure this checkbox is disabled. In this case, let's transfer all of our F-35s over to that particular destination. Next thing we're going to look out for is our ferry behavior. There are multiple different ways we can define how they ferry. In this particular case, you can see one way, cycle, or random. What this means is one way simply takes all the aircraft from the carrier, sends them to Nellis. Cycle will send them back and forth from the carrier and Nellis. In random, if you select more than one possible location, they will simply randomly move between those items, which is a very powerful way in which to create civilian traffic. In our case, I'm going to set this to one way. Down here, we have the ability to define the ferry throttle, the ferry altitude, the ship speed in the event that we're ferrying ships as opposed to any sort of aircraft, as well as the submarine speed and altitude. In this case, that's going to be a pretty good speed. Note that you can ferry a unit with any particular loadout, although for several aircraft, you have the ability to actually define a ferrying loadout, which will take a little while to actually develop. And once that has been loaded up, of course, those units will then fly that particular mission. Once the ferry mission has been completed, I can go ahead and unpause, and now the aircraft will simply launch from the aircraft carrier and then fly all the way to Nellis. Keep in mind, once they get to that particular location, that's going to be their new home base, in which case they've just arrived, everybody has landed, and now the mission is complete.